Bow and arrows, Hawkeye, and time travel, this time on Ask the Council. Today on Ask the Council, how did Hawkeye make Moon Knight's weapons? Welcome to Ask the Council, the place where we try to ask the questions that comic geeks, gurus, and fans want answered. This week, how did Hawkeye make the ancient weapons of Moon Knight? This story is one of the cooler ones from the West Coast Avengers series and set back about 30 years. It is still available in trade paperbacks, so I'll try not to spoil every detail of the story. Back in the late 1980s, Marvel crafted another Avengers title famously known as the West Coast Avengers. After a short limited series, a very 80s thing to do, the team was given its own book. The new Avengers was founded by Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye. Clint would go on to gather Mockingbird, Tigra, Wonder Man, and Jim Rhodes' Iron Man to form up the team. Over the series, the team would add or remove members like traditional Avengers rosters. Some of the other additional members included the Fantastic Four's Thing, Hank Pym, the Vision, the Captain, Spider-Woman, Firebird, and of course, Moon Knight. Now, the Lost in Space-Time storyline began in early '87 with issue 17 and ran through issue 24. This story arc saw the team scattered all over time in a story that really I had forgotten about until I researched this video. It saw our heroes in the Old West, in the Victorian era, in Revolutionary United States, and even in ancient Egypt. Placing some characters like Iron Man in the Revolutionary War was a good bit of fun. The story does involve some rather dark moments, including an arc with the Phantom Rider taking advantage of a love potioned up Mockingbird. So let's get to the question of the day. Hawkeye was one of the members of the West Coast Avengers that was transported to ancient Egypt during the storyline. After being severely injured battling Rama-Tut's followers, Hawkeye and his team were, say, disposed of in a temple of Khonshu. Later, they were discovered by the priest of Khonshu, and the team was laid before the statue of the moon god. During this time, Hawkeye had what we would call a post-death experience with Khonshu himself. After negotiating for himself and the rest of his team, the Avengers were returned to the world of the living by Khonshu, and they took up the battle against the tyrant Rama-Tut once again. But it didn't really go so great, because after another failed attempt, the team finds himself again taking refuge in the Khonshu temple. During this time, Hawkeye decides to put his time to good use and decides to arm the priest of Khonshu himself. Realizing archery, his specialty, isn't the right choice for the worshippers of Khonshu, he goes a different route. Instead, he crafts some crescent moon darts, some boomerangs, and some throwing irons. Clint's amazing craftsmanship earns him a place in the temple history forever, and they become the weapons of the Moon Knight, the champion of Khonshu himself. So, there you have it. That's how Clint Barton made the weapons of Moon Knight. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ask the Council. If you like this episode, click subscribe below. And remember, if you have a question for the Council, hit us up on Twitter at Comic Council, and our team of gurus will be happy to try to answer your questions for you. And maybe your question will make it on the next episode. See you next time. Peace.